They say obsession drives greatness, but in Magnus Walker's world, it drives Porsches. Dozens of them, each one a different flavor of Stuttgart perfection, modified, preserved, or reborn in his own gritty outlaw image. This isn't just a car collection, it's a rebellion on wheels. Welcome to the wildest Porsche garage on earth. It all begins with the heartbeat of Magnus Walker's garage, the 1971 Porsche 911T, better known as 277. This isn't just another classic 911, it's the car that put Walker and the Urban Outlaw brand on the global map. From the outside, it grabs you with its raw red, white, and blue livery, hand-painted numbers, and exposed primer. This look wasn't made for a museum, it was built to race, and to tell a story. The car has been rebuilt and modified countless times over the years. Walker swapped in a 2.7-liter flat-six engine, tuned for more torque and raw power than the original setup. He upgraded the suspension to a custom Bilstein setup for better grip and handling. The wheels? 15-inch Fuchs-style alloys with fat tires for that old-school race look. Inside, it's stripped down to the basics: Recaro bucket seats, a custom Momo steering wheel, and drilled pedals for track-ready performance. What's most striking is what he didn't fix. The dents are still there, the mismatched panels still raw. It's not a polished show car, it's a driving diary. The car itself is worth around 70 to 100 grand, but the value of 277 goes beyond money. It's a Porsche with soul. But parked beside it is something even more aggressive, a 1976 Porsche 930 Turbo. This was the first production 911 to be turbocharged, and it set the tone for decades of performance. With a 3-liter flat-six turbo engine pushing out just over 260 horsepower, it was one of the fastest cars on the road when it launched. But it wasn't just fast, it was wild. The turbo lag hit like a punch if you weren't careful mid-corner, and the rear end would snap out without warning. It earned a nickname for that, the Widowmaker. Magnus Walker's 930 takes that raw DNA and dials it up even more. He swapped out the original wheels for a set of deep-dish Fuchs-style alloys with custom finishes, giving the stance a more planted, track-ready look. The suspension was upgraded to a coilover setup for sharper cornering and better control at high speeds. He also added a custom exhaust system, louder, freer flowing, and a perfect match for that turbo whistle. Inside, the interior has been gutted and rebuilt with race-spec seats, a roll bar, and a stripped-down dash. It's part classic, part track monster. Today, a well-maintained 930 can easily fetch 150 grand or more. Add in Magnus's mods, and you're looking at a one-off machine with serious value and serious bite. As the camera pans through his garage, you'll spot a second 1971 Porsche 911T, but this one's built for battle. It's not a show car. It's a stripped-down, raw track machine made to eat corners. The body's been lightened with fiberglass panels, and the original bumpers are gone, replaced with lightweight custom ones that trim pounds and sharpen its silhouette. The interior is completely gutted. No carpets, no sound insulation. Just a roll cage, a pair of racing buckets, and a Momo Prototipo steering wheel that puts control directly in your hands. Under the hood, the flat-six engine has been reworked for more power and responsiveness, paired with a custom exhaust that crackles and pops with every downshift. Walker also updated the suspension to a fully adjustable setup and slapped on stiffer torsion bars, custom sway bars, and Bilstein dampers, all tuned for canyon roads and track days. Brakes got the love too, with larger rotors and performance calipers pulled from a later 911 model. Add sticky rubber on lightweight Fuchs wheels and you've got a car that's built to be pushed hard. This build likely cost upward of 100 grand between the car and modifications, but to Walker it's priceless. Fun fact, this car has no radio, no AC, and no creature comforts, but it's reportedly the one Magnus drives most often when he wants to clear his head. Then comes something you wouldn't expect from a Porsche purist, the 914 art car. The 914 has always been seen as the black sheep of the Porsche lineup. Built in the 1970s through a joint venture with Volkswagen, it had odd proportions and less power than its 911 cousins. But Magnus Walker saw something else: potential. He took this underdog and turned it into one of the loudest statements in his garage. The car's exterior is where the fun begins. It's covered in vibrant hand-painted graffiti-style artwork, layers of color, numbers, stripes, and custom tags that make it look more like a rolling mural than a sports car. Walker worked with artists to design every inch, giving the 914 a personality that turns heads wherever it goes. It's not just for show either. Underneath the paint is a fully tuned chassis. The suspension has been upgraded with stiffer springs and dampers for sharper handling. The engine, originally underpowered, has been swapped for a higher output flat 4, breathing new life into the car. Inside, it's stripped to the essentials: lightweight seats, racing belts, and a roll bar. All in, the modifications and paintwork cost around 30 grand, turning a once overlooked model into one of the boldest cars in the collection. And speaking of modern firepower, there's the 2014 Porsche 911 Turbo S, easily one of the fastest cars in Walker's collection. Unlike most of his builds, this one doesn't scream for attention with wild paint or exposed rivets. It's factory fresh, sleek, and low-key, but it's a beast under the skin. Packing 560 horsepower from a 3.8-liter twin-turbo flat-six engine, it launches from 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds. All-wheel drive keeps it glued to the road, and the dual-clutch PDK transmission shifts so fast it's almost telepathic. Walker didn't go crazy with mods here, just a set of custom 20-inch wheels for a more aggressive stance, upgraded pads for sharper braking, and a sport exhaust system that gives it a deeper, angrier tone. That's it, because Porsche already nailed the formula. This car isn't about flash, it's about function. It's the one he hops into when he wants performance without fuss. No rattles, no surprises, just reliable everyday supercar speed. A stock example of this model goes for around $100,000 today, but with the few choice upgrades and Walker's name attached, its value could be even higher. It's clean, modern, and deadly quick. His daily driver with bite. Just when you think the madness might slow down, the garage throws you another curveball. The Porsche 911, known as the SRT. Built from an early 70s shell, this isn't some glossy show car. It's a raw back alley bruiser that Magnus Walker built to drive hard every day. The most striking feature? That flat louvered deck lid in the rear. Inspired by vintage endurance racers, it helps heat escape the engine bay while giving the car a gritty, aggressive edge. The body panels aren't flawless by design, giving it that patina-rich outlaw vibe that Magnus swears by. Underneath, the suspension is reworked with stiff coilovers and upgraded bushings, slammed just enough to hug the pavement but still handle LA's potholes. The interior is gutted, no carpet, no frills, just bare metal, bucket seats, and a suede-wrapped Momo steering wheel that puts you straight in the zone. The engine? A naturally aspirated flat six tuned with custom headers and a handmade exhaust system that pops and crackles like it's alive. It's not dyno bragging material, maybe around 250 horsepower, but it feels like a lot more thanks to the lightweight body and stripped weight. The cost? Probably over $100,000 if you tried building something like it from scratch today, considering the parts, the bodywork, and the labor. And just when you think you've seen his wildest build, wait until you meet the track-ready beast he calls GT2. It's coming up next. From there, we hit the pavement with a full-blown track day monster, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This is the car Porsche builds for drivers who want real feedback, no filters, no fluff. Right off the bat, it's easy to spot. The massive rear wing, wide body, center lock wheels, and huge air vents give it a race-ready look. It's not just for show. Every part has a function, from the hood vents that increase downforce to the magnesium roof that lowers the center of gravity. Under the hood, there's a 4-liter flat-six engine that revs up to 9,000 RPM, pushing out over 500 horsepower. Most people baby a car like this. Not Magnus. He drives it like it's meant to be driven, fast, loud, and hard. He's taken it through LA's canyons, the streets of downtown, and even to track days. While Walker didn't do heavy mods on this one, he did make a few tweaks. Upgraded exhaust for a sharper tone, ceramic brakes for track punishment, and custom suspension tuning to handle California's backroads. The base GT3 RS runs about $225,000, but with these upgrades and his usage, this one's easily worth north of $250,000. It's one of the newest, but also one of the most driven in his collection. And then, the Porsche 914-6. It may look small, but this car is no joke. Most people know the 914 is Porsche's quirky little mid-engine car, but the 914-6 is the rare factory-built version that packed a 6-cylinder engine instead of the standard 4. Only about 3,300 were ever made, which already makes it a collector's piece. But Walker didn't just collect it, he turned it into a driver's machine. Under the hood, it's been upgraded with a rebuilt 2.7-liter flat six, giving it more torque and better throttle response than the original 2-liter engine. He's swapped in a 5-speed manual gearbox from a later 911 for tighter shifts and better ratios on twisty roads. The car sits low on lightweight Fuchs wheels, wrapped in sticky tires that grip hard through every corner. Suspension has been upgraded with stiffer sway bars and shocks for better handling. Inside, you'll find period-correct rally seats, a simple 3-spoke steering wheel, and no clutter. Just what you need to drive, nothing more. The exhaust note is sharp, raw, and mechanical, exactly how a lightweight Porsche should sound. It's not the most expensive car in his collection, but with all the work done, it's easily worth north of $100,000. This car is all about connection, to the road, the engine, and what driving used to feel like. Like what you see? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We've got more coming. When it comes to raw race-bred aggression, the Porsche 934 Turbo RSR is the one that punches hardest. Built in the mid-70s for FIA Group 4 racing, it took the 930 Turbo's base and cranked everything up. This car wasn't about comfort, it was built to win. The factory version came with a 3-liter turbocharged flat-six engine making around 480 horsepower, which was crazy power back then. What made it more intense was the turbo lag. Press the gas and wait. Then, boom. It kicked in hard, which made every lap feel like a fight. Magnus Walker's version doesn't just sit pretty in the garage. He's taken the 934 look and given it his signature twist. The flared fenders are even more pronounced, stuffed with wide, sticky tires for real grip. The whale tail spoiler? Bigger and functional. The intake system has been reworked for better airflow, and the exhaust is a custom straight pipe setup that sounds like thunder. Inside, it's bare metal, racing seats, a bolt-in cage, and no extras, just pure driving focus. The mods alone cost well over 50 grand, and a real 934 RSR can fetch over 1.5 million at auction today. It's one of the rarest and most aggressive cars in his entire collection. And just when you think it can't get crazier, in comes the Porsche 935. Not the original factory-built Le Mans racer, but a brutal one-of-a-kind homage built with the unmistakable touch of RAUA Welt Big Roth. This modern 935 tribute started life as a 911 Turbo, but it didn't stay stock for long. Akira Nakai, the founder of RWB, transformed it with one of his signature wide-body kits. Huge rear fenders, deep dish wheels, flared arches, and a front bumper that looks ready to eat the road. The bodywork is done by hand, with bolts exposed and lines that scream aggression. No two RWB cars are exactly alike, and this one stands out even more with a massive rear wing and slammed ride height. Inside, it's stripped for purpose. Racing bucket seats, roll cage, custom gauge cluster. Everything about it is raw. The suspension is stiff, the tires are wide, and the exhaust is loud enough to rattle street signs. Walker's 935 isn't just for looks, it's tuned for track use with upgraded turbos and custom cooling systems. A build like this can easily cost upwards of 150 grand, including labor and imported parts. It's not just a Porsche, it's a rolling piece of automotive rebellion. No Magnus Walker collection is complete without a proper nod to the air-cooled golden age, and that's where his Porsche 964 Classic comes in. Built between 89 and 94, the 964 was Porsche's way of updating the 911 without losing what made it special. But Walker didn't just restore his, he reimagined it. Gone is the stock ride height. Instead, it's been lowered on custom coilovers to sit tight and aggressive, giving it that race-ready stance he loves. The original all-wheel drive system? Pulled out, replaced with a rear-wheel drive setup to shave weight and bring back that raw classic 911 feel. The wheels are deep dish, Fuchs-style rims, black centers with polished lips, giving it that vintage meets modern look. The engine remains a naturally aspirated flat 6, but has been tweaked for quicker throttle response and a throatier sound, thanks to a custom exhaust setup. Inside, he's stripped it down. Lightweight bucket seats, a simple 3-spoke Momo steering wheel, and a roll bar in the back for added structure. No luxury, no frills, just driving. A solid Porsche 964 can cost over 100 grand today, and Walker's mods easily push that number higher. But this car isn't about resale, it's about grip, feedback, and pure analog joy. Now switch lanes into something truly fearsome, the Porsche 993 GT2. This isn't just any Porsche, it's the final chapter of the air-cooled era, and it went out with a bang. The 993 GT2 was built in the mid-90s for one reason, to dominate in GT racing. Porsche stripped it down, ripped out the all-wheel drive system, and fitted it with a twin-turbocharged 3.6-liter flat 6 that pushed out close to 430 horsepower in the street version. It had massive fender flares, a big rear wing, and almost no electronic assists. No traction control, no stability programs, just raw power to the rear wheels. Magnus Walker's GT2 is one of the crown jewels in his collection. It's not a garage queen, this thing gets driven. He's added subtle touches without ruining the original. The wheels are period correct, but sport a custom finish. The exhaust is aftermarket, giving it an even angrier sound. Inside, the Recaro race seats and minimal interior keep it close to its racing roots. Just getting behind the wheel feels like stepping into a time machine. Today, clean 993 GT2s go for $1.5 to $2 million, and that's if you can find one. This isn't just a car, it's a legend. Then there's history wrapped in rebellion, the Porsche 356 Speedster, lovingly dubbed the Outlaw. This car isn't just rare, it's raw. Originally a lightweight stripped-down version of the 356 meant for weekend racers in the 50s, Magnus Walker has taken it even further from factory spec. His version features hand-formed louvers on the rear deck to keep the engine cool during spirited drives, and the windshield has been chopped low to give it that classic race car silhouette. The bumpers? Gone, replaced with custom bars for a cleaner, aggressive look. The leather hood straps are a callback to vintage racers, while the wheels are aftermarket Fuchs style, giving it better grip and a more muscular stance. Under the hood sits a tuned flat 4 engine that sounds raspy and alive, putting out around 90 to 100 horsepower. Not much by today's standards, but when you factor in how light the car is, it's more than enough to make canyon runs feel like track days. The value? Original 356 Speedsters in clean condition easily sell for over 350 grand, and with Walker's custom work, this version likely tops that. Did you know? Magnus drives this Outlaw regularly, proving not every six-figure classic has to sit in a garage. Next up is the 1986 Porsche 911 G-Body Carrera, a car that might fly under the radar for most, but for Magnus Walker, it's a perfect platform for raw driving fun. This G-Body came from the era when Porsche was fine-tuning the 911 before the 964 took over. It has that classic wide stance, torsion bar suspension, and no-nonsense mechanics that make it perfect for custom builds. Walker's version is all about performance and feel. The exterior is finished in a low-key metallic gray, which hides just how wild this build actually is. The front and rear bumpers have been shaved down for a cleaner, tighter look. The mismatched wheels, a signature of Walker's, give it that gritty, track-ready vibe. Under the hood, he's upgraded the original 3.2-liter flat-six engine with high-performance exhaust and intake tweaks to squeeze out more power, pushing the car close to 250 horsepower. Inside, it's race-inspired. No rear seats, just a roll bar, bucket seats, racing harnesses, and a Momo steering wheel. Modifications like these easily add up to 20 grand or more, not including the base car, which itself can fetch over 60 grand today. This exact car was spotted blasting through LA's canyons in multiple Porsche documentaries, and Walker still drives it weekly. And then there's the dark horse, the Porsche 924 Carrera GT, a car many overlook, but not Magnus. Built in the early 80s as a homologation special for Group 4 racing, only around 400 were made, which already makes it a rare beast. It came with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 that pushed out around 210 horsepower. Not crazy numbers today, but back then, this thing could hold its own on the track. It had widened fiberglass fenders, a top-mounted intercooler, and a mean stance that made it look faster than a regular 924 before it even moved. Magnus Walker's version isn't stock. He swapped out the factory wheels for a set of blacked-out lightweight alloys. The car wears period-correct decals, but with his own Outlaw twist, a matte gray finish, lowered ride height, and custom exhaust setup that gives it a much throatier growl than the original. Inside, he's gutted the rear for weight savings, added a roll bar, and fitted vintage-style racing seats. It's built to be driven hard, not just show off. These cars have climbed in value over the years, now fetching upwards of 100 grand in good condition. Add Magnus's custom touches, and you've got a one-of-a-kind underdog that punches way above its weight. At this point, we've gone full throttle through the wild, raw, and rebellious world of Magnus Walker's Porsche kingdom. From race-ready monsters to outlaw-built legends, every single car tells its own story of heritage, speed, and unapologetic individuality. But here's the thing. Ask Magnus to name his favorite, and he probably wouldn't. He'll just grin, lean against a worn fender, and say, "The best Porsche? It's the one with fuel in the tank and a road ahead." Because to him, it's never been about trophies or price tags. It's about drive, literally and figuratively. This isn't just a garage. It's a living, roaring, tire-squealing memoir of a man obsessed with going fast and staying true to himself. So, which one of these insane Porsches spoke to you the most? Would you take the keys to the Outlaw 277? Or are you more into that wide-bodied 935 Tribute? Let us know your pick in the comments below, and if you had fun riding shotgun through this collection, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a high-octane tour through the world's most iconic celebrity garages. Until next time, keep it fast, keep it loud, and always stay in the left lane.